All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to uncover a really critical legal connection that honestly, most people just don't know about. We're talking about how a simple case in your local state court can have a huge direct impact on your federal firearm rights. So let me ask you something. Do you think you're in the clear as long as you've never had a federal conviction? I mean, it's a super common belief, right? But it's also a pretty dangerous misunderstanding. The reality is, a lot of people lose their federal rights because of things that happen at the state level, and they might not even realize it. And look, this isn't some hidden loophole or secret rule. It's written right there in black and white in federal law, and we're about to break down exactly what it means. Here it is. It all comes down to these four little words from the federal statute 18 U.S.C. Section 922. Ready? Convicted in any court. That single phrase, that's the bridge that connects your local state courthouse directly to federal law. It changes everything. So what does in any court actually mean? Well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The federal government doesn't care if the court was federal, state, or even local. A conviction, a qualifying protective order, or even just an indictment from a state court, any of those can set off federal consequences for your gun rights. And this right here really gets to the heart of the problem. Someone could go through a case in state court, think it's all said and done, and have absolutely no idea that a federal disqualification just got triggered in the background. So how exactly does this happen? The federal law we mentioned, 18 U.S.C. Section 922, it lays out 10 primary disqualifiers. Think of them as triggers. And that state-federal link we're talking about can pull any one of them. Let's walk through what they are. Okay, so the first group really deals with convictions and indictments. This means being convicted of any crime, state or federal, that is punishable by more than a year in prison. It also kicks in if you're just under indictment for that kind of crime, or if you've been convicted of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial, so listen up. It's not about the sentence you actually got. It's all about the maximum potential sentence for that crime. So you could be convicted of a state crime, get probation, never serve a single day in jail, but if the law says that that crime could have put you away for more than a year, well, that can still strip you of your federal rights. It's a huge distinction. All right, the next group of disqualifiers focuses more on personal and legal status. This covers things like being a fugitive from justice, being an unlawful user of or addicted to a controlled substance, or having been formally judged by a court as lacking mental capacity. It also includes being involuntarily committed to a mental institution or having a dishonorable discharge from the military. And the final group here covers court orders and citizenship. Now, this is another area where state courts have a massive direct impact. See that first one? Being subject to a qualifying protective order, a restraining order, those are almost always issued by state courts, and they can trigger a federal disqualification. This group also includes being in the U.S. unlawfully or having given up your U.S. citizenship. Trying to figure all these rules out on your own can be incredibly complex. We'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsor for making this explainer possible, the 2A Gun Rights Eligibility Tool. You can find them over at fedgunrights.com. Okay, so we've laid out the problems, we've shown you the hidden connections. The big question now is, what can you actually do about it? What does all this mean for you personally? And this right here is probably the most important takeaway from our whole conversation. A disqualification is not always a life sentence. There are potential paths to getting clarity and, in some cases, even restoration. But it all starts with understanding your specific situation. And this isn't just wishful thinking. For example, the U.S. Department of Justice is actually developing a new web-based application for people who are seeking to restore certain federal firearm rights. That's a pretty significant step toward creating clearer pathways for folks. So here's a clear path forward for you. Step 1, understand the rules we've been talking about. Really let it sink in that what happens in a state court matters federally. Step 2, take a good, honest look at your own history and see if any of these 10 disqualifiers might apply to you. And then step 3, start exploring what restoration options might be out there for your situation. And hey, as you start exploring those options, we want to give another shout out to our sponsor, the 2A Gun Rights Eligibility Tool. You can learn more by visiting fedgunrights.com, and thanks to them for supporting Legal Gangsta. For more clear step-by-step education just like this, head on over to legalgangsta.com. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If this powerful, but often invisible, legal link exists between state courts and your federal firearm rights, what other hidden connections between different areas of the law might be quietly affecting your life right now? And as always, just a friendly reminder that this content is for educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Thanks for tuning in.